watch over and protect us and keep us safe. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
Okay, I need a motion on the work session minutes for March 15th.
Mr. President, move for adoption.
All in favor, raise your hand.
5 with 2 and 3 abstaining.
Mike.
Okay. Need a motion for the regular council meeting minutes on the 15th of March.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Yes, sir. All in favor, raise your hand.
5 with 2 and 3 abstaining.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, you're up. We got a bunch of folks behind you.
Good to see all these guys. Good to see everybody here tonight. Thank you for being. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity. It's good to be here before the council. I think I've got a pretty short message, so I'm going to try to get right to it. But I'll start off by, I guess, formally introducing to the council our new police chief, Darrell Albert. I want to welcome him. Chief, you will please stand up. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard. I think he's figured out all of the problems in his 8 days on the job. So we're ready to put him to the test, as you saw earlier today. But no, he is a great guy, and we're looking forward to what he brings in terms of his 32 years of experience, as well as his strategies to use 21st century policing, embracing technology as a force multiplier, and re-energize morale to shore up that staffing level. And I think, his work will complement our strategies that many of our community leaders are implementing already in their own scope to try to help us bring down violent crime. And, for us to have seen the January to February drop of 40% was certainly positive, but we're not going to rest. We're not going to pat ourselves on the back. We know that this is a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month issue that we all have to work together to try to solve. And so I'm glad of the work that the community is doing. I'm certainly glad of the work even our Office of Violence Prevention is doing in conjunction with that. So again, Chief, thank you for being here, and they'll certainly, I know you want to talk to the council members, and they'll, I'm sure, be finding a time for all of you to talk about some of the things that they hear, they know, and they see are going on in their districts in ways that we can come up with some solutions to address those. So really appreciate that. Now I'm going to go to something that I prematurely got involved in, and that's addressing homelessness. This may be a repeat for some who were here during the work session, but just as we're trying to interrupt violence in Montgomery, we hope to interrupt the conditions that cause homelessness. We're working with groups that build tiny homes. Councilor Mitchell just told me about some initiatives that he has for District 6, and I know that some of the other council members have some of those going on as well. Earlier today, we were talking with Montgomery Housing Authority about a number of issues about affordable housing, but as it relates to the homeless, cities across the country are working to develop community-centered goals and partnerships to address this issue through rehousing efforts and resources from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, otherwise known as HUD. Even agencies such as the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness is working to address this issues. Because whether or not you're affluent cities like Austin or Denver, where people are setting up tent cities, or your cities, mid-sized cities like ours, Shreveport and Greenville, South Carolina, we're all trying to struggle to find that balance of how do we address this issue. Questions often arise as to how we can guarantee paths to housing, to reduce housing and shelter gaps where they exist, and provide those support services for the impacted persons. Believe it or not, we have students right now in our public school system who are sleeping in cars, who are sleeping in abandoned houses. We have students that don't know from day to day and time to time. So it's not even just adults that we're seeing having to address this issue. We're also seeing among young people. And so today, sign a proclamation committing our community to join cities across the country in launching a task force to address this systemic issue and moral obligation. The proclamation reads, whereas confronting homelessness requires a collective effort by key stakeholders to address such issues effectively and efficiently, and whereas the office of the mayor shall establish a task force on addressing homelessness to cultivate a shared vision and citywide agenda in partnership with key stakeholders in the fight to meet the needs of impacted residents. And whereas the task force shall independently and identify intervention gaps in aiding the needs of persons suffering from homelessness. And whereas the task force will need to evaluate existing policies or even some that need to be put on the books concerning issues around housing, shelter, health services, and panhandling, while also finding and examining existing data detailing the state of homelessness in Montgomery. Now, therefore, I, Stephen L. Reed, Mayor of the City of Montgomery, Alabama, do hereby establish a task force on addressing homelessness in the City of Montgomery to cultivate a shared vision and citywide agenda in partnership with key stakeholders in the fight to meet the needs of impacted residents. I'll sign it at this time, and it will go into effect as of the 5th day of April, 2022. The Mayor's Task Force on Addressing Homelessness comprises leaders of organizations who will play an active role on the ground, engaging our homeless community directly, providing food, shelter, and services critical to hygiene, health, and overall wellness. Members of this task force will include the Montgomery Area Mental Health Authority, the Mid-Alabama Coalition for the Homeless, Friendship Mission, Family Promise, Mercy House, Montgomery Pride United, Hands on River Region, the Salvation Army, and others. I'm excited to see what comes from these collective efforts, and we're not trying simply just to meet and talk. We want to have an action plan. We want to meet and do. We have a moral responsibility to mitigate homelessness in ways that restores life and renews strength in those who have felt the weight of it for far too long. And so for all of our stakeholders and all those who work on the front lines of this issue every day, we thank you for the work that you do. We thank you for giving your ideas to the city and to us, for us to try to implement and to bring before for support, funding, as well as just overall wellness for our city. And without you and the partnerships with you and your organization, the members who help support it, we would not be able to address this issue. We would not be able to move forward with a progressive way to seek to provide shelter and homes, even if it's temporary transition, for people who need it during a time of physical, mental, or even financial crisis that they otherwise would not be able to meet. And so we thank you for all the work that you do. And at this time, I just want to thank you, but just with a round of applause. Now, I would like to go to other community partners, and those are people who are working in our neighborhoods. The city awarded $52,000 to Montgomery neighborhoods, and we would like to acknowledge those 15 Montgomery neighborhoods as part of our 2022 annual neighborhood grant program. This grant can go as high as $5,000 per neighborhood to fund sustainable projects that provide public value in Montgomery's neighborhoods and through our overall community. We'll welcome an association president or community representative from each of these neighborhoods to come up and receive their award. We'll also ask that they stay on stage and take a photo with myself and the City Council after the awards are distributed. At this time, I'll ask Director of Communications, Griff Waller, to come and announce the neighborhoods as we hand out these awards.
Yes, sir. And I know we have our neighborhood representatives with us. If, when I call your neighborhood, just walk up, get your proclamation from Mayor Reed and the award, and we'll take a photo. Arrowhead Homeowners Association. Yet if we come up, you'll remain up here for the group photo of the council. Capitol Heights Civic Association. Dovefield Farms Landowners Association. Eastwood Villa Homeowners Association. Garden District Preservation Association. Greater McGee Estates Homeowners Association. And I know that we may not have a representative. Okay. Halcyon Oaks Homeowners Association. From Halcyon Oaks. Jones Road Neighborhood Association. Lake Ridge Neighborhood and Road Association. Mobile Heights Neighborhood Association. Old Cloverdale Association. Seth Johnson Neighborhood Association. Westview Gardens Community Association. The Greater Bell Road Neighborhood Association. And that could be another group that couldn't attend. And then do we have anyone from the Dillard Estates Homeowner Association? Come on up. And council, if y'all can stand up behind our representatives tonight, we'll take a quick group photo. Just look at Adoria, and we'll do that.
Again, we want to thank all of the neighborhood associations who, again, help us out in the community every day. And we know that not everyone can be awarded a grant, but there's a lot of great work that goes on in the community. And we really thank you all for accentuating the positive that